Hey NAI football fans, this is Corey Thorpe and John Cooper here for episode 3 of the NAIFBALL show. John, how are you doing?
Anytime we get to come here, Corey, in our little studio, talk some football, especially NAI football, it's a pretty good day.
You are right about that. We had a pretty good weekend of NAI football. Had a couple more teams getting started, going at it.
Yeah, we had a lot of little out-of-conference games, and this is still the time period where a lot of NAI teams play those Division II teams, FCS teams. I think the NAI had a pretty good record against the Division II this week.
Absolutely, they did. There were a couple of games that were played between Division II and the NAI. The first was the 6th-ranked Concordia Cardinals. They played Kentucky Wesleyan and beat them 7-14. The second was Ottawa of Arizona, the Spirit, played Western New Mexico and beat them 38-31. Now, that Concordia game was at Kentucky Wesleyan, so going...
Yeah, they went a little south there from Michigan to Kentucky, and, we talked about last week that Kentucky Wesleyan has bounced back and forth from NCAA to NAI. They've been in NCAA the past 10 years here at Division II. So, both of us predicted Concordia to go down there and win that game. I thought it was going to be more than what it was, but, it was an impressive showing by Concordia.
Sure was. And we talked about it. The only way to get a little bit more respect on the NAI's name is to go into these places and play these D2 teams and beat them.
Right.
And go in and play these FCS teams and whip them.
Right, and I think not only are you doing that, but you're making money for your program.
Absolutely.
You want nicer stuff on your facility, your locker rooms, the field, and nicer gear. Go play that up a little bit. Go get a win and get some money. We were talking about Concordia earlier, Corey. They play in that tough Mid-States Football Association, that Mid-East division. No better way to get battle tested before the season, than going to go play a Division II team.
I will say this. Concordia's defense was lights out. They limited Kentucky Wesleyan to less than 150 yards total.
Not only that, negative 17 rushing yards.
That is
unbelievable right there. Anytime you hold somebody in the negative for rushing, you are legit. You know how hard it is, even the worst team, to hold them to negative rushing yards? That's unbelievable.
They had 8 sacks. That's how you do it right there.
Well, yeah, you back them up a little bit. I definitely want to see some more offense from the Cardinals, though. They struggled a little bit, especially in the efficiency of the passing game. The quarterback of there, Roger Engel, 11 for 28. I'd like to see a little bit more efficiency there. I know that they're trying to flirt with that vertical passing game, and it's hard, to be efficient when it's vertical passing. It's not as easy as like these air raid teams that are going side to side, hitting those easy routes. But Concordia is a very balanced team, rushing and passing. So I would like to see some efficiency there. But I think Concordia is going to have a solid year, like we predict. There's a reason why they're a top 10 team.
Absolutely. Now, before we go on to the other team, we would be remiss if we didn't thank our current title sponsor, Fifth Quarter CFB. They make what we do possible, and they are committed to the small college football experience.
That's right. If you haven't followed Fifth Quarter CFB on Twitter or any other platform, make sure to do it. They not only sponsor us, but they sponsor every individual team at the upper college football level. But, they give a huge spotlight for us and make it possible to do what we do. Also, shout out to Faulkner and you, Pike, for sending some gear to us. Guys, we would love to have some more gear to be able to show on the show.
Or else we're going to be recycling.
Yeah, we're going to be recycling. You're going to see a lot of you, Pike, Faulkner, and Reinhardt. And, Faulkner even gave me the camo, the old school camo F. So, it's awesome. But go ahead.
So our third game and kind of our game of the week was Grandview Baker. And maybe it's just me, but that one wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be.
The most impressive thing about Grandview, and they're coached under Joe Woodley, which is taking over for his dad this past year. He's going to make you forget about his dad, if he keeps going like this, and his dad's a legend. Anyways, for them to hold Mid-American Nazarene to shut them out, Mid-American Nazarene was competitive last year. They had some big wins last year. But to shut out those guys and then to hold Baker, a playoff team from last year, to only 3 points, unbelievable.
Yeah, you got to look at Austin Chuchi there with 1.5 sacks and 4.5 tackles for loss and 2 forced fumbles. That'll keep your team in the game a little bit.
Absolutely, and they were pretty balanced too. We talk about Concordia being balanced. Grandview is a balanced team, and they rely a lot on their defense, to get done. But I mean, if your defense is going to be the steel curtain defense, you might as well. Baker was only limited to 200 yards even.
Yeah,
and only ran 60 plays. You have a dominant defense. So Grandview only ran 72 themselves. This was a defensive game, and Grandview just grinded them out basically 20-3, and they scored every quarter. That is a grinded out team if they're scoring every quarter.
Absolutely. So I know we talked about a little bit and talked about having a top five
plays.
Top 5 plays.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, if you have a play that you want to nominate.
Right. We had a couple. Send it, but we don't have enough. We didn't have enough to filter. If it's not a highlight, don't send it to us. I don't want to see just a routine tackle or that routine catch for 5 yards. If it's a play worthy of being on a list, send it to us.
Absolutely. I'd love to get that put in our show and make that a consistent part of what we do. But, it is going into week 3, and the NAI is still a week away from releasing their new poll.
Right, and we're still going.
We're still going.
Well, we got one more game to talk about.
We talked about Ottawa.
We talked about Ottawa already? Yeah. Holy cow. I got hit in the head too many times. Well, let's hold on. Before you do that, Austin McCullough, preseason player of the year for the Sooner Athletic Conference, he threw the crap out of the ball, but the Spirit should have defeated them way worse. They had 3 interceptions. I'd like to see McCullough get more efficient and keeping care of the ball.
He's got over 700 yards passing already this season.
Right, yeah. Oh, he can sling it to the best of them.
We're going to have to see. I have a sneaking suspicion that maybe, just maybe, Ottawa is going to give Langston a little run for their money.
Yeah, and then Langston struggled a little bit,
That was
this past week, and that was to K-Cat McPherson.
Absolutely.
Kind of a regional out-conference game. We thought Langston was going to just run the scoreboard up. I thought, it was going to be more of like a 50-30 type game, but it was a 1-point game.
It was 21-20.
Yeah, so, but, we know the guys over there at Langston. I'm sure they'll get it right. So I'm eager to see what happens this week, and we'll talk about them later.
Absolutely. So we unveil our new edition of the NAI Media Top 25. Major props to our buddy Parker, who designed the graphics here.
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
Parker Robinson.
Yep.
He was the former SID at Dickinson State, now works at Nebraska. Solid dude. Thank you, Parker.
Absolutely. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Starting from the bottom, at number 25, we've got Montana Western, who, let me get my stuff pulled up, was receiving votes.
Right. They were floating around that preseason poll already, and, they're handling a little business. They're 1-0. So if they keep winning, it's going to handle itself.
New into the poll this week is Kentucky Christian, who took care of business against Georgetown. A little bit of an upset there.
Right. Yeah. Corey Phipps is the head coach over there. He is a Hal Mummy disciple. He is the air raid guy. They're going to put up a lot of yards, a lot of points. I remember when I played at Faulkner, we were in the top 5 in all of college football for yards and points and stuff. So see if their defense can get going over there. They have a good strength program over there too with Casey Carpenter as a strength and conditioning coach. But first time ever beating Georgetown. NAI royalty, knocked Georgetown out of the top 25. There might be a new sheriff in town over there in Kentucky.
We'll have to see. Next are a couple teams that I'm ready to see a little bit more of. I know Kaiser had a postponed game
right
due to Hurricane Dorian. Southeastern hasn't gotten their season off.
They start this weekend.
They start this weekend.
Right.
I'm excited to see what these two Florida teams have to show and see if they can.
The guys at West Palm Beach, they have a really good thing going over there. Coach Sosha over there, he is a very experienced coach. He has things going. Everything I hear about Kaiser is just great things. And if your program's running smooth off the field, it's usually running really smooth on the field. And they had that big win against Dort when Dort came over. And eager to see what they do in Mid-South Conference play.
And then we've got Bethel coming off a win. They had a
I feel like it's a little unfair that Bethel's at 21. I mean, they took the lumps to Lamar, but it is what it is. They're 1-1, a little bit of pole inertia. They can get back in there.
Absolutely, they faced Warner this week, like you said.
Yeah, that's a good week 3 game for Bethel.
Yeah, let's see if they can string a couple together and get back on.
Oh
yeah, I know they will. Next up are our 23-16 teams with a little bit of a Ottawa feel to it. We had a little bit of a flip of Ottawa teams.
Isn't that weird? Also, shout out to Parker again because you got the NASCAR feel, like you said earlier today. This is awesome graphics. We can't wait to tweet these out. Might tweet them out during the show if we have time. But Ottawa, Kansas, they're taking care of business in the KCAC. We had a feeling that they would steadily be there, and they might be that second playoff team coming out of the KCAC and get that at-large bid. It'll be between them and maybe they upset Kansas Wesleyan. But that's going to be Kansas Wesleyan's biggest test. It's good to see Iowa still represent the KCAC in the top 25, especially that Avila's dropped out.
Absolutely. And then in between the two Ottawa teams, we've got Evangel, who
they're grinding out wins. Yeah. They're not very impressive wins, but Coach Hepla, they're not flashy. Now, I don't want to say not impressive, not flashy, but they're wins. A win is a win is a win.
And as long as it goes on the left side of that,
that's right.
The committee doesn't care that much at the end of the year.
That's right.
As long as it sees the 0 on the right side, they couldn't care less if everyone was by 3 points. Then we've got Cumberland's of Kentucky, who
they had a dogfight with Ave Maria.
Sure,
we had a lot of people complain about Ave Maria not being in the top 25. We said, well, they had a chance to prove it against Cumberland's Kentucky. I think Ave Maria is going to have multiple chances. They have Southeastern and Kaiser right there in the Sun Division, so they'll have more ranked opportunities. They're the defending Sun Division champions. So they're going to have their chances, but Cumberland's Kentucky, impressive win going down to South Florida.
Absolutely. There were a couple times during that game I didn't know they were going to get out of there.
No, I didn't. That was a tricky game. Anytime you go that far down on a charter bus, it's a hard game. I mean, it just is what it is. Travel, logistics make that a hard game.
And then at 16th, we've got the Dickinson State Blue Hawks, who blanked the Jimmies.
Right, and you kind of expected something would happen after that loss to Rocky Mountain. And, the Jimmies, they're in Coach Stro over there. They're going to get it going, but Dickinson State shows why they're the class over there in the North Star.
Absolutely. Now for our top 15, 15th team is Langston after a close win at Wichita State's old stadium. That was the first collegiate game played in Wichita State's stadium since the 80s. I saw that today.
Holy cow. So they played in the Shockers' old stadium. I did not know that.
Did I shock you?
Yeah, you shocked me. Pun.
I've been waiting all day for that one.
Langston, like we said, a win is a win is a win, but I'd like to see more offense. Like last year, they were rolling teams. And
they lost their quarterback and Lee Asher.
Yes, I know. And we know that, reload guys next man up. But they're going to stay steady there if they can keep hold and firm grip of the Sooner Athletic Conference. So I'm looking forward to that Ottawa-Arizona game.
Next one up is Rocky Mountain.
Coach Stutz has it going on, man.
That was a hard game against Montana State Northern.
Right, yeah. They put points up. I think they scored over 50 points.
Yeah, 153-34. But that game was close early. It was going back and forth there for a little bit.
Right, and Coach Stutz definitely has the Badland Bears going. Frontier's a tough conference, guys. Yes. If you didn't know, the Frontier Conference is a round-robin schedule, and it's hard to beat a team twice. In upper-level college football, they say, We know it. Tallahassee, right here, Florida State, played Florida twice, lost the national championship because of it. Beat them in the regular season, had to turn around and lose the national championship.
Yeah.
Alabama, LSU, about a decade ago. Alabama lost the regular season but won the championship. It's tough to beat teams twice. That's why I think the Frontier is one of the most unique conferences in America.
Can you imagine if Alabama had to play Auburn twice a year?
Oh, and Auburn, LSU, and all of them could just stay in the West the whole year.
The Southeast would be an entire murder scene with people getting at each other. Next up is the College of Idaho. The Yotes had a great game against Montana Tech.
Yeah, and we figured it would return that many starters, 20-plus starters basically. They obviously should be 2-0. There shouldn't be a slow start like they had last year. That's a very experienced team.
Lindsey Wilson had a good game against Point, getting off there to go to 2-0.
Yeah, you got Cameron Dukes over there, the quarterback, and Coach Oliver heading that up. We're talking about Lindsey Wilson. They're one of the games of the week this week. I think Cameron Dukes is going to have a huge game to keep Lindsey Wilson ranked that high.
And then after the loss to Grandview, Baker drops down from 7th to 11th.
That's really a friendly drop. I actually dropped them a little bit lower. I think Baker's a great team. I think they might be in the playoffs still. That's a tough conference right now with those 4 teams. They're all going to be fighting for those bids. But you got to see some offense this week, right? Got to have some offense.
We got to see how Baker comes back from that loss.
Right. Does it say more about Grandview's defense or Baker's offense?
Exactly.
We got to figure that out.
And this early in the season, it's real difficult to tell.
Right.
So for our top 10, we have the Reinhardt Eagles, who I feel gave all Reinhardt wanted.
A win is a win is a win. It's the theme of the day. But Reinhardt has not looked like we thought they would.
Not as quite as sharp.
And it's not that they're not impressive. They are a physical ball club. We saw it. We saw a lot of Weber Warriors at the beginning of the season going out of the game because not only the Heat over there in northern Georgia, but they were also, just a physical team. They have a huge offensive line over there at Reinhardt. It's going to be years to see. And it might say a lot about UPike.
It might.
I mean, we're so young into the season here. A lot of these teams are mysteries, and eventually the puzzle pieces will come up. But Reinhardt, good job grinding out that win to stay in the top 10.
I'll say this. Reinhardt travels away from home for the first time this week. And I think that's going to say a lot about what the Eagles have to offer.
Right. Yeah, to get out of Georgia.
Get out of Georgia a little bit. Ninth is Grandview.
They definitely deserve. I think Grandview's fixing to skyrocket up these polls and soon be in the top 5. That defense starts playing the way they are. I mean,
yeah,
Coach Woodley's doing a heck of a job.
Absolutely. Above them is St. Xavier, who dispatched Lawrence Tech 45-13.
As they should. That was a good first win for St. Xavier. So we'll see how they keep going.
Talking about teams that you really want to see. We haven't seen Marion yet this year. I know.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's crazy. And a little poll inertia there. They dropped the spot, didn't they?
They did. Just
because they're on buys. But, I mean, this might work out to advantage to them because think about all the practice time they've had when school wasn't in. Now classes probably start a little later. And you get that amount of time to gel and get things going. This might be a huge advantage for Marion. They might be onto a secret that not many know about.
A little secret sauce there. Then at 7 is Northwestern, who played a really great game.
They were impressive. We talked about this is the year of the Red Raiders. They want to beat Morningside. This is the year they need to do it. We saw Morningside absolutely dominate their first game, and they're very impressive versus Valley City.
Yeah, a great running game in the rain.
Right, yeah.
Just put them away. And then the top 5. Concordia.
Deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumps Marion. Nothing against Marion. I think it's more of what Concordia did in going to a D2 team.
It'll take care of itself down the road.
Absolutely.
Nobody can be upset about this. It'll take care of itself.
Kansas Wesleyan just took care of business against Tabor.
Right, and the star players are going to star out. With Pruitt and Shaq Bradford and Johnny Photo, that's an experienced team over there too.
we'll have to see what they get into when they get in the meat of their KCAC schedule.
Right.
When they get in that grind, can you do it week in, week out?
And then you got number 3, St. Francis of Indiana. They played St. Francis of Illinois. The Saints over there are having a tough time. They had number 1 Morningside and then number 3 St. Francis. And I have St. Francis at number 1 in my individual poll. So hopefully it gets better for the Saints coming. But St. Francis took care of business, the Cougars.
It can't get much worse.
No, we're playing number 1 and number 3.
And getting outscored, what is that, 136-6? That'll hurt your feelings right
a
there.
little bit. You shows your measuring stick of where you need to get to.
Absolutely. Next up is Benedictine. They went to they played William Penn and
Statesman over there.
did what they had to do.
I thought the Statesman would give them a little bigger test, especially with a little bit of ball control, and Benedictine grinded them out.
Then Morningside atop the poll had a bye week this week. We should see them back in action this week.
Yeah, I'm very eager to see how Morningside does. Coming off that 80-0 win, and I know they have the Dort defenders, who I know Dort's well improved from the past couple years, and I think Dort had a bye week too. I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure they did. And they have to be reeling off that Kaiser loss. They want to come out and look good against Morningside.
Absolutely. So up next here is we talked a little bit about our friends at 417 Helmets. We don't have either of the helmets here today.
Right.
But they have set us up real nice with a helmet with our own logo on it.
Absolutely sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Sad thing is, it's in my car right now. I absolutely forgot it. So, but it's the centerpiece to my living room. If you want something in your man cave, coach's office, bedroom or something, 417 Helmets is the best gift you could get somebody.
They'll do pretty much anything too.
Miniature,
high
full
school,
size,
high
school, college.
Probably the Canadian Football League. If you asked them.
I think they did defunct teams that don't even exist anymore.
So if you want it, they'll make it for you.
Those are the guys.
Those are the dudes. So I contacted them and said, hey, why don't we do some helmet stickers
There we go.
for some players of the week? And they went, oh, we like it. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And so we have our first helmet stickers of the year. First one on offense goes to Georgetown's wide receiver, JJ Agbagu, who reeled in
He had an impressive game.
Yards.
206 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. You could say he put Georgetown in a position to beat Kentucky Christian. Kentucky Christian was just too much on offense, nailing that kick at the end. But he was there for Georgetown, and I know they're going to rely heavy on him throughout the year.
Only on 6 catches.
That's talking about vertical catching. You are going long.
35 yards almost per reception.
That means you're hard. You got speed.
You got some speed
to get downfield.
Absolutely. And then for our defensive helmet sticker, we're going up to Montana and talking about linebacker Jason Ferris, who racked up almost 20 tackles and forced a fumble on that.
That's what it means to be a Bulldog over there in Montana Western. They value defense first. And he sticks his nose in there and makes those tackles and fits up in his gaps. And 19 tackles.
That's a ton of tackles.
You can't even get that on video games.
No, you can't. Now, a year ago, he went over the century mark for the season, so I don't see any reason why.
No, you're already 1/5 there almost.
For real. So, congratulations both to JJ and Jason for earning our initial 417 helmet stickers. And so, what are we watching for?
We're watching Lindsey Wilson versus Faulkner. Faulkner's in the Sun Division now. Them and Lindsey Wilson used to be in the same division in the Mid-South Conference. It was actually a little bit of a rivalry game. 2 new programs coming out at the end of the decade there in the late 2000s and entered 2010. But, they've met several times. They've met in the playoffs before. It's going to be the battle of the quarterbacks. You got Mason Blocker over there for Faulkner that was injured last year. Seems to really have things going. And then you got Cameron Dukes. I think that and I'm a Faulkner alum, but I think Lindsey Wilson's going to win this game, and here's why. After watching some film over Lindsey Wilson last year, and especially at Campbellsville game last year, when Coach Auber is here in a little bit of a pinch, he will run Cameron Dukes. I mean, Cameron Dukes is a great passer and everything, but he'll run Cameron Dukes because that gives them an extra blocker. So when your quarterback's taking basically a quarterback counter or anything where they like to kick the end and they like to run their power plays. So I'm eager to see what Cameron Dukes does. I think it's the battle of the quarterbacks. Whichever quarterback has the best day, I think they're going to win. And Cameron Dukes, I think, is going to have a little tougher of the time. I think Faulkner's defense is very underrated. They had a pick six last week against Bluefield. But I have Lindsey Wilson picking that win up, because I think this week they're going to run the quarterback. And I don't think Faulkner's going to see it. I don't think that's much on film from this past week. I haven't watched that film, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't on film that much.
I'm going to go with you on Lindsey Wilson, but I think for Faulkner, I think they make Lindsey Wilson uncomfortable.
Right.
I don't think that's just
And
another.
That's a long trip.
Game.
That's a long trip from Montgomery to Kentucky. I've been on that trip. It's on. Lindsey Wilson's a beautiful place. Oh, beautiful facilities too. Best guest locker room showers. So,
But I think Faulkner gives Lindsey Wilson all they want and makes a case for staying in and around that top 25.
Yeah, they are very close to that top 25. They win this week, they're in the top 25.
Oh, absolutely. Next is Langston going to Arkansas Pine Bluff. We'll see what Langston can do.
We talked about very disappointed in that McPherson game. And like I said, McPherson would be a mystery to us. But Arkansas Pine Bluff, man, that's going to be a tough game. You're going against 65 scholarship players against a team that has 28.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game. So hopefully Langston shows out a little bit, shows improvement, and gets that money, and maybe shocks the nation. But I think that next game is what I have an eye on.
That would be Kentucky Christian at Morehead State, another NAIFCS game. And we'll see, can Kentucky Christian, coming off an emotional win, can they go 2 in a row? It's always hard that game after.
We saw Morehead State. I think they played 2 NAIA teams. I think they played Point earlier in the season. I'll have to get fact checked on that. But I'm eager to see what Coach Phipps does against Morehead. He's going to use his system to his advantage. He's going to spread it out, try to get spacing on the field, get the ball into his athletes. He's done a great job. Yep, Morehead State played Union already, and Union's not a slouch. I think Kentucky Christian's better than Union.
Yeah.
But it's going to be eager to see. The only problem I have with is that air raid is not friendly to your defense at times. If you're not moving the ball, your defense is dying out there on the field. So, and Coach Phipps is not going to slow it down. If it's not working, it's just not working. But that's his system. I'm eager to see if they can have success on offense. I think it's going to be a quality showing for them. But they got to have success, and they've got to have success on first down. If you don't have success on first down, because he's going to want to go tempo. If you can't have success on first down, your defense is in trouble because they're going to be out there a lot.
A couple other ones that I didn't put on there, but I think are other ones that'll be fun to watch. It's going to be Concordia going to Olivet Nazarene.
Olivet Nazarene coming off that Victory Bowl win. I think there's a lot of people upset they're not in our top 25 right now. So, like we said for Ave Maria last week, you got a chance to prove it.
Pretty good, yeah. Another one that really kind of makes me curious is Montana Western going to Montana State Northern.
Yeah, Montana State Northern had a quality showing last. They put up some points, but can they stop anybody? They're very close to making to being in and around my own top 25.
Right. If they can beat Montana Western, again, that's another one where they're going to make a really good case for it. Another one is Missouri Valley at Culver Stockton. That's
Right, Colt.
That'll be a war.
That's, Missouri Valley's floating outside the top 25 as well. And interesting thing about Missouri Valley, I believe they have the most wins in NAIA all time.
I think that's Carroll, but
maybe it's Carroll. I know Missouri Valley has something that's impressive,
but Missouri Valley's probably right up there. But as they go to Culver Stockton, can they win and take advantage of any of these teams in that bottom 5 that could fall out with a loss?
What about Avila versus Bethel, Kansas? The Threshers over there.
That would be a good one.
Can they recap? Can they get back on the winning side?
I think that Avila's going to be a little bit annoyed. I don't think they played as clean of a game as they wanted to.
Right.
And I know weather had a little bit to do with their game last week as well. So I think Avila's really going to want to get back out there and show what they can do to get back into our top 25.
I absolutely agree. This is going to be a great weekend in NAIA football for week 3.
Absolutely is.
So we're excited.
Anything else you got?
I'm really excited for the 3 games we talked about. If there's any SIDs watching, we are letting teams take over our Instagram and soon to be Snapchat. And we might start doing Facebook too. We get stories on Facebook. Oh, no, they're synchronized on Instagram. Okay, so if you're on our Instagram, you have our Facebook as well. It has worked well for Reinhardt, Morningside, and who had it last week?
That would be St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, yeah. Shout out to the Bobcats. I know your first game didn't go well against Thomas More, but anytime you get a first game in the books, that's huge for the university and the program. It's only going up from there.
And guys, keep an eye out on our Twitter feed. We will be giving you the top 25.
Wait, we're missing something.
Guide. We are?
Cincinnati Christian.
Cincinnati Christian.
Look it up. Did they get their second win? We got to find this. We cannot end the show unless we celebrate the Cincinnati Christian Eagles. They had to come very close if they didn't.
This is going to become the Cincinnati Christian show.
We should end every show every week. Cincinnati Christian's doing, and because they deserve it. Those kids deserve it over there.
They lost to Cumberland.
What was it? It was a competitive game.
It's 14-6.
14-6. And Cumberland, Tennessee, the Bulldogs over there, they have a rich history. They beat Florida State in Florida State's inaugural season. They're undefeated against Alabama, and we all know about the Georgia Tech debacle. Cumberland has rich history.
I'll tell you this. We had a couple of folks reach out to us Saturday, and they said, y'all need to watch out for Cincinnati Christian.
If there's anybody from Cincinnati Christian watching this game or watching this show, reach out to us on our DMs. We want you to take over our Snapchat this week.
Absolutely.
Let's get it going. I want the Cincinnati Christian Eagles to be the first one.
We love you some Cincinnati
Christian. They deserve it.
So, I'm excited. Like I said, keep an eye out, guys, on our Twitter feed. I'm going to do my best to put out another viewing guide like I did last week so you know when these games are happening, where to watch these games so that you can see some NAIA football. I know I had my kid's first birthday party.
Yeah, I was there.
It was
a great time.
It was. And what was on my TV was Northwestern versus Valley City. And my dad was looking at me going, why aren't you putting NCAA football on? And I said, because I'm a pollster over here.
That's right.
I have to see
we take
games.
Our job serious.
That's
We're the experts.
Right, we do.
Thank you guys, the JV Sports Show. They're part of our poll, the Champion Sports Network, OklahomaSports.net, Sports 94.9 out of Montana. I know he covers Carroll over there. Thank you. This media poll is it's bigger than just us. We're the experts, but it's bigger than just us. Okay, so there's no bias in our poll. It's a very split up poll of 5 different media entities. We're up to 5 now. Yes, 5 different media entities. And we vet these guys pretty hard.
We do, and we're all from 5 different
regions.
So you're not getting an East Coast bias, a West Coast bias, a breadbasket bias. Right. This is Oklahoma, Arizona, Texas, Florida, and Montana. So you're getting the breadth of NAIA football.
That's exactly right. But anyways, guys, we appreciate you. We're going to post a link to this. The top 25 rankings are going to tweet right when we set off of this, sign out. And I hope you guys have a great day. Get ready to watch some NAIA football come Saturday.
Have a good one. I gotta get a mouse.